What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another Wrath of the Lich King classic gold farming video. So in today's video, we're looking at a classic dungeon, which is Stratholm, and we're going to look at just exactly how good it is for gold, and you have the Holy Grail, this shot at getting the mount itself. So before we go any further, massive shout out to all of you guys who have picked up the complete gold guide for Wrath of the Lich King Classic. It really does mean the world to me to see your support and your super positive feedback on it. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, there's still a couple of days left to get it for only $9.90 using code SALE. So make sure to check it out using the link down below in description and pinned comments. And it's basically a gold guide that features all of the best gold farms in the expansion. And the cool thing about it is the fact that whenever I update the guide, you guys get all the updates for free. So now back to the video and Stratholm farming. So I'm going to show you guys a clip of me, like really speed up, of me doing Stratholm. So you guys can see that I entered on the living site. And that's all going to make sense towards the end of the video. It's basically just because it's the fastest way to enter after leaving the dungeon using the Ghetto Heartstone. But the goal is to do the undead side, so you just open up the gates and then you walk over to the undead side. Because while you're doing this, for me personally, the carrot is a chance at getting the mount, right? Like, that's obviously what I'm after, and I just happen to make a ton of gold on the way there, so that's really cool. Now, this dungeon is extremely easy. I could probably do the runs faster than I'm doing it right now, but like, it's really comfortable. The mobs are low level, it's really easy to kill. The bosses is a breeze. So you can do this farm on with way worse gear and with a lot of other classes compared to doing something like Steam Volts, for instance. So super solid all-around farm where you have a chance at getting the mount if you do care about that kind of stuff. But outside of the mount, it's still a pretty decent gold farm because the raw gold is like 70 raw gold per run, right? And outside of the raw gold, you also have a gold coming in through Runecloth. And Runecloth is extremely good. Like, it's roughly 3 gold a stack of Runecloth. On some realms, it's going to be more. On some realms, it's obviously going to be less, right? But it's roughly 3 gold for the stacks. But it's super important that you don't look at the min buyout price with TSM, because there's always going to be those people posting like 17 Runecloth or 5 Runecloth for way less than what they should be at. But if you look at full stacks of 20s, where there's a bunch of them, they're like roughly 3 gold each, right? Each stack, that is, obviously. And that doesn't sound too impressive, but you're actually getting like 200 Runecloth-ish per run, which is 10 stacks. So that's another 30 gold. So just in guaranteed gold from Runecloth and raw gold, it's 100 gold a run. Now, do pay attention to this boss if you're going to do it on a Protection Warrior. I'm pulling some trash together with the boss because this is a Revenge Spect War, and the boss is a caster. She only casts, and you can't interrupt her her spells so she can melee you. So I'm pulling some mobs just so I can block some attacks and get revenge up and going. But yeah, roughly 100 gold a run in just raw gold from vendoring and the Runecloth on the auction house. And the reason why people buy the Runecloth is they want to hand it in for reputation. So they can get exalted with each of the major capital cities and also be able to buy a cheaper epic riding by getting exalted with Orgrimmar or a Stormwind. So it sells really well right now. It's a big gold, right? Outside of the steady guaranteed gold, you obviously also have a chance of getting blue items, patterns, and plans, epic items like the Skullflame Shield as well. So that's also bonus gold. And it's worth keeping items like Aquamarine and Star Ruby. If you click the blacksmithing scrolls on the ground before the second boss, you can get like the bottom half of advanced blacksmithing. It's like a 10 to 20 gold item. It's just a nice little bonus, you know? But it is really the Runecloth and the raw gold that will make you a lot of gold on this. And the run is pretty straightforward. As you can see, I'm just clearing the entire undead side, so there's really no point in like watching the rest of it because it is super easy. It's a breeze because there's a couple of items that I want to show you that will make your life way easier when you're farming this. So me, for instance, I'm playing a war, and these guys, they will give you a disease. The disease will reduce your movement speed, and it is extremely annoying to run around with it. Like right now, you can see the yellow debuff that I have right here is the movement speed disease, just makes you walk very slowly. On something like a war, you can't remove it, right? Unless, that is, unless you get an item like the Jungle Remedy. They're like 25 silver each on my realm, and definitely worth doing. The only downside to it is the fact that if you read the tooltip, this effect is less effective against high-level poisons, right? So there is a chance that when you click on this, it's not actually going to remove the disease, but you just got to wait for the 30-second cooldown or whatever it is, and then click it again, and then maybe even again if you're unlucky. But it's a lifesaver because there's a 30-minute debuff, so you definitely want to have a couple of these with you in Stratholm. Now, if you're playing a tune that obviously can cure disease, it's not a biggie, but for a war, is life-saving. Other than that, we want to use this macro that I named Ghetto Heart. So if you use this one, you will notice that it just briefly for a second right there made a group and then it disbanded the group. Because what happens then is you will get a 1-minute countdown like this, and you will be teleported to the nearest graveyard. And the nearest graveyard is not outside the undead entrance, it's outside the main entrance. That's why I take the trip through the living side and over to the undead side, because that's where I'm closest at. And also, there's an NPC that allows you to vendor right next to it. And the bags, they get full. If you noticed that during my clip, I had to like drag out and delete items as I was going because my bags were way too full. Like, you can't even do 2 runs unless you have Harris Pilton bags without having full bags. So you pretty much have to vendor after each run. You really do. But then again, like if you can do 3 runs an hour, like I can't do it faster in my war, maybe slightly faster, but I wouldn't be able to do 4 runs, there's no way. It's still 300 gold an hour guaranteed from just a rune cloth and the vendor gold that you're getting. And then, of course, you have a chance of getting good items. I actually got these bad boys right here, the Cloud Keeper leg plates, which are really good. There's currently none on my auction house, but I figured these would sell well. Extremely good, actually. And then I got myself some blue specific, these legs are specific to Stratum, can only drop as Stratum play count leggings. They're later removed from the game and then brought back in again. But these are also extremely good leggings, selling for a hefty price. So that's going to obviously increase your gold per hour, but I'm not going to include that into the gold per hour. Like, it's 100 gold guaranteed a run from Runecloth and the vendor gold. Now, this macro right here for the Ghetto Heartstone, it looks like this. I'm going to paste it down below in the description if you guys aren't aware of it, but it's super common macro. You can just Google a Ghetto Heartstone and you will find it. But a simple trick is, because once you're in Stratholm, the closest vendor is going to be all the way down at Light's Hope Chapel, unless you do one very simple quest. So you want to head into this building right here, and this NPC will be giving you a quest. The quest is easy. You just go and you pick up a book on the ground inside of this house right here. You hand it back to the NPC, and the NPC becomes a vendor that you can vendor at. So what I do is I use the Ghetto Heartstone after each run, and once I've done that, I mount over to this dude, vendor all the stuff that I have, and then I re-enter at the main entrance right here. And when my bags are too full to the point where I can't do a full run, otherwise my bags would fill up like right now, then you unfortunately have to go over to Light's Hope Chapel to like use the mailbox, send it over to your bank tune, and then you can re-enter at the undead site. But that was pretty much it for today's video. So if you guys decide to give it a go, please let me know of any BOE epics that you get. And if you get the mount, obviously I want to know down below in the comments section. Subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this, and you'll be notified whenever I upload them. And you could, of course, as I mentioned, look at the complete gold guide for Wrath of the Lich King using the link down below in the description. Don't forget to use the discount code SALE while it's still active. But guys, thank you all so much for watching the video, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, bye-bye.